So not to brag, but we went to a DCOM trivia night at a bar and we got first place.
I mean, let's be clear, it would have been pretty embarrassing if we didn't get first place, considering how much legitimate research we've done on DCOMs and we watched every single one.
And you know what's crazy is we almost didn't get first. It was a tiebreaker because we only got one question wrong and the other team also only got one question
Yeah.
wrong.
The question we got wrong was about cowbells, but luckily I was able to clutch it up and get a tiebreaker question also about cowbells correct.
Yes. Or closer than
Closer.
the other team.
Yeah. We're not gonna say what it is because they do sometimes run this trivia further along. We don't want to spoil these answers for fun, but it was fun.
It was so fun. We got to shout out our podcast, and we were one of the few teams to know that Brie Larson was in Right on Track.
So we're talking about Right on Track. How topical. Brie Larson is in this. And that's by far the most notable thing about this movie.
For sure. And the question was a picture of her. And it's like, who is that? Brie Larson as a child? People were like, whoa, what? And we were like, yeah, we been know.
Yeah. Yeah. Get on our level. Do some DCOM factos every once in a while.
We would have won tickets to the Descendant Zombies show, but we already had tickets.
Yeah, you think we're not going to do a special report on the DCOM Descendants and Zombies? What's the official name of the tour?
It's like a concert. I don't know. It's like Descendant Zombies concert.
The Disney Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide tour.
Worlds Collide. That's
we're
what
gonna
it is.
we're gonna do a special episode on that.
We probably should. And yeah, it was hilarious because he's like, we have a special prize, tickets to this. And we're like, great, we already have tickets. So we just gave him to second place. Like, we were totally fine with that.
So yeah, if you're one of the people who were tuned into this episode following our performance, hey.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Let's get into the episode, I guess.
Red, 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 red. That's our new intro. Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
You took my line.
Too bad.
I'm Kelsey.
I'm BenG.
And this is... I feel so backwards. This is the DCOM Duo
podcast.
Yeah. And this week we're talking about Right on Track.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get our intro a little off track to begin
with. Shit. Good one, babe.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're talking about Right on Track, which is like one of the most forgettable DCOMs.
This is certainly one of the DCOMs of all time.
It is. It is. Have you ever heard of it before? Me neither.
There's I think the best way we could describe it is what we were describing like throughout watching this, which is all the characters through this movie are acting like human beings and making choices and decisions that logically make sense. But that also leads to like a plot that is nothing special, really.
Yeah, no character.
I'm not going to say cookie cutter because they do some stuff that's fine, but it's also just like a very nothing movie that's boring, but not in like a dissatisfying way. It's just the most... Well, I just watched that movie.
Yeah, no character like really needs any character growth or development. Like the main character a little bit, but barely, right?
Yeah.
Like the parents, for example, totally fine parents the whole time. As much as we complain about shitty DCOM parents, these are like some of the most healthy parents we see. That's great, but also it's boring as hell.
It's simultaneously refreshing and also... Well, there's no real drama in this film. The drama is very realistic, something you can find.
It's based on real
true story, yeah.
But yeah, the only bad people in this movie are the people that are supposed to be bad, and there's like nowhere for the characters to really go other than like feminism. Yeah, like that's pretty much the whole movie, and it's kind of boring, but it's not like a terrible movie.
Yeah. It's just, this is also what, like, the third DCOM we've talked about where an outsider into a racing space, maybe fourth film, an outsider into a racing space.
Fourth?
Because we've got Right on Track. This is the one we're talking about here. We've got Miracle in Lane 2.
Yeah.
We've got Ready to Run.
Oh, Ready to Run. And then Motocross.
Motocross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about Ready to Run. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all just kind of the same movie.
They basically are. Yeah.
And this one, like, doesn't differentiate itself in any real imaginative way.
No, it just has Brie Larson, which is cool.
Yeah. And if you like drag racing, sure. But it's also like even much worse decoms leave more of an impression. This is going to be ranked probably like a C or maybe high D tier just because there doesn't have that much going positive for it. But
Mhm.
like it is super not difficult to watch. You're just not going to really feel anything.
What's crazy too is I feel like I didn't learn that much about drag
No,
racing.
it's shockingly non-explanative of
Yeah. Like Miracle Lane 2, I learned so much about what was it, like,
soapbox
soapbox?
car
Yeah,
racing.
I learned so much about it, and this movie, I didn't learn that much. I learned a little bit, but really it's just like, we're here and we're racing.
Yeah,
But, yeah, anyway, before we really dive into the movie, I don't think we have fan mail.
I didn't check. I can.
Yeah, we usually don't.
I don't think. I don't think we have fan mail this time.
Just, I know y'all are scrambling to congratulate us on our trivia win, but oh, I guess, y'all don't really know about that yet. So after this episode, I expect so many emails congratulating us.
Mhm. So thank you for that. If you want to send those emails in, it's the decomduo@gmail.com.
Hmm.
I'm checking to make sure we don't have any like YouTube comments or
Yeah, we
anything.
also check out our YouTube comments and TikTok sometimes. When I upload TikToks, I'm very infrequent about it. I'm very behind, but when those TikToks come out, it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty gnarly. Yeah, I think we got nothing else to say. So we'll move on to the Decom Duo factos.
Ooh.
This is where we talk about the things that go into the movie, such that on future trivia nights you can realize that this was Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Uh, Right on Track released March 21st, 2003. Was the 43rd DCOM. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
That checks out.
The director is an old friend. We want to come on the podcast. Would have been great. We should have reached out. Dwayne Dunham.
Oh my gosh, we've covered a lot of his
We
movies.
covered actually now. This is the last DCOM of his we're covering.
That's so sad.
So I'm gonna say them off here. I'll also say his other stuff, and then I want to rank them real quick
Super quick. Off the
because
top of our
he deserves the respect to be considered. He did Halloween Town, Ready to Run, 13th Year, Tiger Cruise, Double Teamed, Now You See It, and this movie.
Is it bad that I don't think any of them are spectacular?
No, I think this is more misses than hits.
People are gonna freak out about Halloween Town. They're gonna say, "Oh my god, but Halloween Town's so good," and we're gonna say, "Is it?"
Rewatch it with a fresh mind.
I think my favorite, crazy enough, is Double Teamed.
Double Teamed really leaves an impression for us, which
Yeah,
I like. He's done this movie pretty similar because Double Team's very similar to this movie. This movie's also similar to Ready to Run. 13th Year also has sport. Like I think 13th Year might be my favorite actually of these.
that might be true, but 13th Year is so disappointing when you
It,
watch it.
but it's also
It's
like
so
it
weird.
leaves much more of a legacy,
It
kind
leaves
of.
a legacy because it's a boy becoming a mermaid and everybody remembers that, but if you actually sit down and
Yeah,
watch
it's pretty
it,
boring.
it's boring as hell.
Now You See It is not boring,
It's
but it's also
crazy.
weird as hell.
It's batshit
It's
crazy.
batshit crazy in a way that I wish it almost wasn't, which is very rare.
Yeah.
But like, I
It's
can
so hard to
respect it.
rank.
It's weird stuff. I think last place is Tiger
Tiger
Cruise
Cruise, yeah.
because that movie only works ironically, and it's hard to have ironic enjoyment about 9/11.
Yeah, I would say Tiger Cruise and, like, Ready to Run are the bottoms.
Yeah. Honestly, this might no. Well, Halloween Town after that because we both agree that movie's just actually
Yeah,
boring as
but
hell.
I'll give it more credit than, like, Ready to Run.
Right on Track, I think it's next because it's at the same time extremely watchable. Like
Yeah,
you're not gonna really be that upset during your watching of it, but it also is just a nothing
yeah.
movie.
And then either, like, 13th Year or Now You See It for me.
Yeah, I'm cool with those being up there. They're kind of like similar,
Yeah.
where they're much better to think about than to watch,
Yeah, I think Double Teamed is the best well-rounded movie that he's done.
which is
In
a completely
DCOMs.
different opinion than if you had the first time we watched all 8 of these.
Probably.
Yeah.
But, our opinions change.
Other stuff Dwayne did was he did Homeward Bound and Little Giants, and he was a very accredited editor. He won an Emmy for Twin Peaks. He also worked on like Return of the Jedi and Blue Velvet.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
a lot of stuff, a lot of things. Now moving on to the cast. Playing the role of Erica Enders, our main character here. Notably, I only wrote down the main age of these actors
Yeah.
because they have different people cover them.
Yeah, in the
Um,
beginning, there's, like, young Erica, but we're only talking about main Erica.
yeah. It's Beverly Mitchell. By far, her best known thing is she was one of the main cast of Seventh Heaven.
Whoa.
Yeah. Otherwise, she had some notable roles in things like Saw 2 and Secret Life of the American Teenager, among other things. Pretty recently, she was on, like the Fox show Special Forces World's Toughest Test,
Mm.
where it's just celebrities going through military training.
Oh,
Yep, she was on that. And she now currently co-hosts a Seventh Heaven rewatch podcast, so you know exactly what level of fame she is.
she should do a special episode that covers Right on Track.
Oh, absolutely. And she made a moderately successful self-titled country album.
Hey, she's a
So
singer?
there you go. A little bit more famous, perhaps, is the person who played her younger sister, Courtney Enders. That's Brie Larson.
Holy crap.
Yeah, she won Best Actress Oscar for Room.
Fantastic movie
She's also
performance.
Yeah, she's also Captain Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep.
So I feel like that's really all I need to say. I'll go through a couple more of her credits. She was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. She was in 21 Jump Street, Don John, The Spectacular Now, Trainwreck.
Mhm.
She won an Emmy as well for like producing a VR series called the Messy Truth VR Experience. I only mention that because I mean she's just a Grammy and a Tony away from an EGOT.
Wow. That's pretty fun.
So good for her.
Yeah, that Brie Larson's in a DCOM.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's some that is the one I think people are most surprised about because I don't think anyone even really thinks of Larson as like a child actress.
No, because she didn't really get huge stardom until later. Like, I think Room really took off because she literally won an Oscar. Not that she hasn't done other stuff. Obviously, she did other stuff like Scott
Yeah,
Pilgrim and whatever.
but
But
that's
yeah,
like where she became a star,
yeah,
and then Captain Marvel. Yeah.
yeah.
So she's a great actress. I feel like a lot of times people on the internet are mean to her just for random reasons because they don't like the Captain Marvel character.
Yeah.
But like,
Nina,
just
Meanies.
watch Room and tell me she's a bad actress.
She's so good in it. Like, she earned that
Yeah.
Oscar. It's one of my favorite
I've heard
movies.
some
It's
people
so
argue
good.
she shouldn't have won, and like I can live with that opinion, but you can't tell me
What?
she did bad in that movie.
That's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
People, who do they think should win?
It was someone else that year. I can't remember.
Whatever.
I can look it up if you want, but maybe we
Nah,
should get sidetracked.
nah. It's
Playing the dad, Greg Enders, was John Lindstrom. He is an absolute soap opera star.
hell yeah.
Most notably on General Hospital and its spin-off Port Charles, but he's been on a ton of others as
Mm,
well.
I didn't hear you say Days of Our Lives, so
He was on that, just only like a smaller
oh,
role.
it's irrelevant to me.
And some non-soap opera credits include roles on True Detective, Bosch, and Must Love Dogs.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought he did pretty well in this movie, but again, I feel
Huh.
like he's possibly the most cheerable dad in the whole movie.
Oh my
There's not a
god.
single moment in this movie where this dad makes a mistake.
No, I think he's actually the best decom dad. And it's crazy because we always said it was jump in dad, and it's because I just honestly the first time we watched this, I wasn't paying attention. This is boring. This dad makes zero mistakes, in
And
my opinion.
he's realistically the second biggest character in
Yeah.
here.
He is a great parent and he listens to his partner too. So I think from what we see, he's a good husband.
Yeah.
Like he's good. And Jump In Dad, as great as he is, maybe makes a couple mistakes. Not that he's a bad dad. He's a good dad.
You're allowed to make mistakes, but you're being compared against a guy who makes none in this movie.
Yeah,
It's actually crazy.
crazy.
Um, Playing the role of Janet Lee Enders,
The mom.
the mom, is Jodie Russell. She was also in Go Figure.
Whoa, is she the mom and Go Figure?
I do not remember who she is. I
Maybe.
think she may have been like like one of the principal or whoever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Um, and really didn't have much else in terms of notable credits. This is kind of like not a star-filled film
Except for Brie
except for
Larson.
Brie Larson.
But not at the time, Brie
No,
Larson. Yeah.
playing the role of Randy Jones was Marcus Toji. He was in Dwayne Dunham's Little Giants, so that's like
Oh,
one of his bigger things. Yeah.
connections.
He had recurring parts in Legend of Korra, Zoe 101, Hey Arnold, on the show Hanazuki.
Okay.
Yeah, he's mostly a voice actor now.
Do you know
He's still doing that.
who he was in Korra?
I should have put that down. I did not. I can look it up. I have the IMDb. Do. It was several episodes.
Oh,
Like all of those that I mentioned there were like or six or something. He was Wing Wei and Lil Chu.
okay. I don't remember who that is.
Yeah, seems like Wing is the one that he was in multiple episodes of season 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, uh, he's kind of it's just it's a little weird that he's in this movie. It feels like a random person
Yeah.
character wise. Uh, then that's actually mainly all that I wrote on here. I also wanted to mention playing the role of Mr. Jones, really just a cameo role, is Joey Miyashima, which I would mention because Kelsey would be mad if I didn't, even though she didn't recognize him.
I didn't see him in the movie.
Yeah. He's was the principal in High School Musical 1 and 3, as well as the coach in Double Team, the other Dwayne Dunham film.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he also had a cameo in Dad Napped.
Yeah.
So he's been in a lot of DCOMs.
Hell yeah. I did not see him in this movie. But he is credited, so he must have been there somewhere.
Yeah. And I'm looking through the IMDb right now because I'm like, wait, I probably should have checked if Todd did anything famous.
Oh yeah, the
He's
live
just not
show.
on this.
He's not listed?
No, not at all,
Todd.
which is crazy. Like, I could go through the credits and try and figure out who he is, but this is just not a well documented movie. I
Yeah,
feel like we're probably single digit number of people who watch this movie like
so true.
this month,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, this past 5 years, maybe. Who watches this movie?
Someone
Um,
who's like, wait, Brie Larson was in a DCOM?
yeah. There's also other characters like Jordy and his dad and the friend Luann, but they just like don't really
They
have
literally have like
credits.
no credits other than
Yeah,
this.
crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Now for some fun facts. The real sisters, so this was based on a real story. They were
Yes.
the stunt doubles in this film.
So cool. They were like actually in the movie.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. And I didn't know this because it wasn't on the IMDb fun fact, but I saw it in the credits when we were watching it. The dad was the technical advisor.
That's also so cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun.
And if we know anything from his movie character, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. What's crazy to me is this movie came out, as I mentioned, in 2003 when Erica's still in like college.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, it says she's still in college, which is crazy because she's like 16, 17 in this movie. Probably like
It's
16.
really like a very recent story that they're adapting.
They're like, oh, this movie came out. You're like, yeah, that happened to me a couple years ago.
Yeah, which means they didn't know how these characters' careers were gonna go. And I found it fascinating to look up how they did it. Because the plot of this movie is, wow, these sisters are really good, and Erica's leading the way, and that's leading for her sister to be even better.
Yeah,
You know? That's crazy. Well, I'll talk about Erica first. Erica turned pro in Drag Race in 2005. She
makes
stuck with it.
sense.
She was the first woman ever to win a competition in the pro stock class in 2012, and then she finished fourth in the championship that year. Pro stock is just instead of driving like the drag cars that you see here, it looks more like a standard car, what like NASCAR looks like.
Okay,
I don't know why they're all these stuff. I'm not a drag racing expert, not an expert. In 2014, she switched teams. She went from Cognazi Racing to Elite Motorsports, which is where she still is now, as far as I'm aware. And then that in 2014, she won the full on championship. She was the first woman to win the championship.
cool.
So that's pretty cool. She then won it again in 2015, and again in 2019, and again in 2020, and again in 2022, and again in 2023.
Holy crap.
Yeah, she's a 6-time championship racer. She did not win in 2024, but she's like among the favorites to do it in 2025.
Holy crap.
She's absolutely killing it. Like
So she is really
she is like
good.
genuinely one of the best to ever do it,
That's insane.
which is kind of crazy. Again, this is like a random ass DCOM found someone who's really fucking good at this.
They could see it in the junior leagues
Yeah.
that she was killing it.
Yeah, she,
Wow.
as of this recording, has 49 total national event victories. She's the winningest professional female driver in all of motorsports.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And
period.
nobody knows about this movie.
Factual. Yeah, which is insane, like, to think about.
That is
The movie
crazy.
would be so different, like, in how it's, like, framing everything, I feel, if it was made now.
Yeah.
'Cause they would know just how big she became.
Yeah, they could say so much more of, like, she's won
But it
so
also
many
makes a lot of the
championships.
characterization of just how fucking dedicated and passionate she's about it feel way more justified.
Yeah. It's crazy because I, in my memory of this movie, conflate it with the other movies where I'm like, "Oh, I thought the sister just ended up being better than her and she kinda quit." And it's like, no, she goes back and she, like, wins, and she's actually really good. I was, like, mixing it with Double Teamed and maybe, like, Miracle Lane 2 or something, I don't know. But mainly Double Teamed because they also have, like, sibling stuff going on in that movie. But, yeah, no, she just goes back and she's really good at drag racing.
Yeah.
She's really
Um,
dedicated.
it's just kind of wild. Now to talk about how Courtney has done. She also raced in the highest circuit, but I really couldn't find anything about her success in that. Didn't find too much. But I was able to find her LinkedIn page.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So first off, I want to say she had like a stint like being a volleyball coach, which is funny because they play volleyball several times in the movie. Not
Mhm.
Courtney, but
Erica
Erica
does,
does.
yeah.
So like there was a connection to all of that there. And basically over the last however many years post college, she's just been like PR, brand management, and content creation, primarily just promoting Erica. She's part of the team.
Oh, so she doesn't really race
No.
anymore? Huh. You know, I could totally see her character doing that, though, because she really only liked doing it to hang out with Erica, and she thought it was fun, but she wasn't nearly as dedicated as Erica was.
Yeah.
Wow, this movie accurate.
That's kind of what it's like. I can't be that mad about the movie's characterizations when I feel like the actual human events that happen after fit with the mindsets and characterizations pretty well. Like I feel like it makes sense, but it's also kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as much as I have to say about it. But I
Right?
was looking this up. I'm like, that's kind of wild. Erica is the winningest female driver in the history of motorsports.
Crazy.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay. For the Disney Plus description, you ready for that?
Oh, yeah.
Mm. When Erica enters the male-dominated world of junior drag racing at the age of 8, she quickly becomes a force to be reckoned with on the drag strip. Once Erica's sister Courtney follows in her footsteps, it isn't long before Enders is a household name in the kids' drag racing world. Where life on the tracks isn't without challenges as the sisters face fierce competitors who'd rather not have girls winning in their sport.
Yeah, that's accurate.
What this really reminds me of is A, we should have probably done a cold open based on the other type of drag racing and how funny it would be if girls invaded that space.
Crazy. Yeah, we just did bar trivia and I had to talk about
Yeah, I feel like in a modern lens, it's kind of funny to be talking about kids drag racing because I
it.
feel like drag race has really become the doing drag, not doing car racing.
Yeah, wigs and makeup and
Yeah,
performances and not driving a
life has
car.
changed.
Yeah. Okay, you ready to jump into the movie?
I'm gonna fill my water.
Okay. Hold on, be right back.
I'm on a
I don't think I'm on one. Are you ready to jump into the movie?
I am so ready to Halloween Town High into the movie.
Ooh, okay. He didn't direct that one.
No, he only did Halloween Town 1.
Yeah. Then he got fired. I don't know what happened.
Wow, why did you say it
I
like
don't
that?
know.
You're so
It's it's
quirky.
2:30 PM. I'm going crazy. All right. So we open up. This is a Disney Channel original movie. I like that it said a Disney Channel original movie
Mhm.
in the beginning. A garage opens. Vroom, bark, vroom. That's what I wrote.
Most of the films start with it saying a Disney Channel original movie.
I don't know.
I feel like most do.
Okay. Maybe I just don't notice. A Disney Channel original movie. Whatever. Um, young Erica is in a racing car playing with her dad and pretending that she's racing. And she goes, "Dad, can I please go?" And he goes, "No, monkey, not this time." He calls her
He calls
monkey.
her. It's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
That's her name.
And then the dad leaves with his racing car, and Erica says, "Rock and roll, daddy, stick 'em." Or stick 'em?
Sick'em,
Sick 'em?
probably. You know, like the thing you say when you want a dog to attack, you say sick'em.
Rock and roll, daddy. Um, I wrote hot transition to dad at the racetrack. Was there like flames? Yeah,
Yeah.
flaming right on track.
The logo is like animated, which is
Yeah.
pretty weird.
Vroom. So then we see two little boys roll up to Erica's driveway.
And this is our inciting incident.
They make fun of her for still having training wheels on her bike. And Erica's like, "Well, I can beat you." And he says, "You cannot." Well, race you to the mailbox. And then we get parallels between her getting ready for her bike race and the dad getting ready for his drag race.
Hmm.
And so they race, and Erica's training wheel falls off because they go into turbo mode. And she's going so fast that the training wheel just flies off and she wins the race.
So cool. It's like she's shifting gears in a car.
But a children's bicycle.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. They both win.
Oh, yeah, the dad also won. And then we
Woo!
get 4 years later, so time jump. So she was probably, like, 6 then, and now she's, like, 10,
Yeah, that's the math.
estimate. A bunch of clay animals are being made by children, but Erica makes a race
She's
car.
not like the other kids.
She's different. She loves racing.
That's all she thinks about. The
She's like
teacher's like, "Oh, that's
and
great."
she's like, "Yeah, it's a 4-link dragster," and she's listing off all these, like, stats about it. It goes this fast and blah, blah, blah. And the teacher's like, "Oh, okay." So then at home, Erica's like, "I wanna join the children's league."
Yeah,
And
they're like establishing a junior Greg league,
yeah, it's, like, brand new.
and the mom's like, "No."
"Well, that's dangerous." And the dad's like, "Come on." And, I wrote Courtney is a suck up, and she's like, "It's dangerous." Little baby
Little
Courtney.
baby Courtney. Little baby, not Brie Larson.
Yeah. And Erica says, "Please." And the mom's like, "Go to bed." And then Erica storms off and says, "Thanks, Courtney."
This is how I imagine Kelsey with her sister,
Named Courtney. Yeah.
although the age is the opposite.
Yeah. I was younger. It is crazy that she's like, "Look, this is all
Do,
Courtney's
do
fault."
you relate more with Courtney for being a younger sister or Erica for having a sister named Courtney?
That's a great question. I think I'm a mix of both. Um, yeah, it's funny she just blames Courtney. And the mom asks dad, "Am I a bitch? I mean, am I a witch?"
Yeah, this is not the only time this happens in DCOMs. I wish we had like a list of it. People say the word witch when it's clear like they mean to say bitch,
But they can't because
but
it's
they can't.
DCOM.
And I did something I did not pick up on the first watch through of this is just how often it happens.
Yeah. The dad's like, "No, you're not." And mom's like, "I'm just scared for her." And the dad's like, "It'll be super safe and she really wants to do it." And he says, "If it was so dangerous, would I let her do it?"
Yeah.
And so he kind of convinces her to, because she's so passionate
She
about
is a
it.
passionate, and it's something that's like a whole thing there is like you could be there's a world where it could be like the parents are pushing her to do something, but it's not. It's really there's a very deep passion for this.
Yeah, this isn't like other DCOMs. It's not the parents pushing her to do something so that they can live vicariously through her. It's really her passion for it.
And it's something again where we've talked a lot in other films where that ends up being the plot, and we're like, that's kind of boring and cliche, but like it makes this plot a little bit weirder and
Yeah.
more just okay.
This is Full Court Miracle instead of like jump in, I
Yeah.
guess.
Full Court Miracle had an actual plot though, really behind it. Not
Mhm.
saying this movie doesn't have a plot, but this movie's plot is not intriguing because again, it's just kind of like setting up a domino track of events,
Mhm.
and you know exactly what's gonna happen, more or less.
Mhm. Yeah. So cut to the junior drag racing. It's kids ages 8 to 16. They get to race and Erica's in. And some okay, so Erica like signs up and runs off and her dad is still there. And some beer belly asshole just like unprompted comes up and is like, "Hey, do you think it's a good idea to let a little girl race?" And the dad's like, "Well, let's wait till the end of the race and you can tell me."
Yeah.
Pew, meow, meow, meow. And then Erica sets up for the race in her pink car and helmet. And the dad says, "Rock and roll, monkey, stick 'em." Okay, I think it's stick 'em.
Okay.
I think I messed up the first time. Erica says, "I'm gonna win." But the announcer says Eric instead of
Eric
Erica.
Enders.
Yeah, it's Erica.
And the mom no, I think the mom goes, it's Erica.
And he goes, "A girl? Well, that explains the color." Haha.
Yeah, girls can only like pink.
Yeah, that's such a girl color. I used to like pink too.
Yeah.
Pink is a cool
It,
color.
once you realize that, you started liking pink.
Yeah, once I got rid of my internalized misogyny, I'm like, wait, pink is actually a really fun color. um, and then the competitor boy who's, racing against Erica says, "What if I get beat by a girl, Dad?" And the dad says, "Don't worry, just try your best. Have a good run, son." Fantastic
It,
parenting.
again, it's something where there's so much misogyny stuff in this movie, and a lot of that makes sense and is relevant for like how the plot is working and what you'd expect in this time.
Yeah,
So it's fun that like one of the first characters in this, it's not even a character throughout this movie, it's just a dad who says the exact right thing. It's just, yeah, give it your best. Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter that she's a girl. Just race your best race.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And he doesn't make a big deal about it. He just says, "That's all right."
Hmm.
It was fantastic. And this for a one-off character, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, so then they take off. Erica kills it. She wins. After the race, Erica and her dad are looking at all the cool trophies, and Erica's like, "I want to win the Nationals trophy." And the dad's like, "Every kid thinks the same thing all around the country. There's a big difference between wanting something and actually getting it." Like he's just trying to set her expectations of like, "Hey, there's a lot of kids that also want it. Like this isn't going to be an easy thing to get. You're going to have
Yeah.
to work hard at this." But Erica says, "Just wait and see. I'm going to get that."
Can you guess what this movie ends with?
Whoa. 7 years later, another time jump, you guys. Now we're at the
Now
main
we're
act.
finally at the main
Yeah,
cast.
we're at Brie Larson now, okay. Erica excited about a new racing car, and Courtney is sitting in the old pink one. Erica's moving up age groups, so it's gonna be tougher. So she just hit like 16, 17, whatever, the next age group. Because before it said ages 8 to 16. Um, the dad's like, "You also both need to keep your grades up if you want to compete out of state or even race at all." So the deal is straight A's if you want to leave the state to race.
Yeah.
If you have like a B average, you can only compete in Texas. 'Cause
And
that's where they
anything
live.
worse, you're not racing.
Yeah. If he's like, if I see a C, you're not racing at all.
And reasonable, good,
They shake hands.
established, and
Yes.
that's fair enough to
They
me.
all agree to this.
Especially because, yeah, this takes up basically their weekends a lot of the time.
It takes up a lot of their time, and the parents are like, "But you have to keep your grades up."
So good
Which
on them.
good parents,
Good parents. They don't
guys.
do like anything wrong through this film.
I mean, it is kind of tough sometimes to like say, "Hey, you have to get straight A's," because that's not always easy for every kid to do, But the girls do it.
Mhm.
They are good students and they're good at racing. So now we're at a race. Like this movie constantly is like, and we're back at racing. They're racing all the
Yeah,
time.
it's just, okay, this time they're in French class. Okay, this time they're racing.
Yeah,
Okay, now they're at home. Now they're racing.
yeah. There's two finalists, Erica and Jordy. Jordy's dad is like, "That little girl of yours won't cry when my Jordy beats her, will she?" And Erica's dad just looks at him annoyed. And the race starts and it's super close, and Erica ends up losing to Jordy, and then Jordy's dad is being an asshole
And he's
again.
like, hey, you're gonna need to get a box of tissue for the tears. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. This is just misogynistic character.
Yeah.
Notably, Gordy himself is nowhere near as bad as his dad. I'm
He's
not saying
just
he's good.
bad until the end, though.
Well, he just doesn't say much. It's just his
Yeah.
dad says everything for Jordy.
Yeah. After the race, Erica sees Jordy celebrating, and Erica's dad says, "Go shake hands." And Erica's like, "No, he's such a jerk." And the dad's like, "Too bad. You need to be a good person, you know?" So she goes over and shakes hands. It's like, good race. And then Jordy's dad says, "You show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. This ain't for little girls. So, young lady, do the whole sport a favor and get out."
What I find hilarious about this is she got second.
Yeah, of the whole like tournament.
Like, I get you can be like, oh, you're just a loser and stuff. You're not making a mockery of the sport if you're getting second.
Yeah. She
Fuck off.
literally made it to the finals
Yeah.
just because she didn't win the whole thing, but you'd be so mad if she won the whole thing.
hmm
Yeah, no. It's pure evil misogyny in one guy.
This is the one character that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because there are people this misogynistic, they're not this public about it.
Yeah, it's I don't know, maybe I just haven't seen it, but I feel like people aren't this outwardly misogynistic.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2003 they
I guess
were.
it was a different time. This was
You're a girl, man.
this was before the famous feminist movement caused by wait, there's gotta be a really funny line to be here. Um
Motocross? No.
what came out like Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man gave women rights. I will not answer further questions.
I have lots of questions, unfortunately.
Too bad. Wait a second. This movie came out after that.
But it takes place in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So they leave, and the dad turns to Erica and is like, "You're right. They're jerks." And then they walk away. All right, so then at home, Erica plays a little like video game thing to practice her reaction time with the start light.
Yeah, the way drag racing works, more or less. I mean, I feel like we should explain that it's a kind of obscure sport, and they don't explain it for us in this
Oh,
film.
they don't.
So I'll give it like a one paragraph explanation. Drag racing is like a 1v1 competition. They do it like in a tournament setting and stuff, where you and the person you're competing against see a timer countdown, but it's just lights. And after 5 seconds, the light turns green.
Yep.
When it's green, you go and you're driving your car as fast as you can in a straight line.
Yep.
And after about 10 seconds, the race is over. So very quick, very tight, very much just accelerating the car as fast as you can. And then the big ways that in drag racing you change your speed and stuff is you're trying to time your gear changes to be perfect with how the machine is running.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about drag racing to say how effective certain stuff is or what makes that timing good or bad, but it's all about that change of gear, all about the change of like everything perfectly and getting good reaction times, good feel for everything.
Hmm.
And that's drag racing. That's the whole sport. I explained
Yeah.
it in about 4 times as long as it takes to do a match.
Yeah. So Erica's just trying to get a very good score, and Courtney comes in and is like, "Oh, you're trying to get a score? Give it to me." And she gets a very good score on the first try. And Erica's like, "No way." And Courtney goes, "This is boring," and leaves. And Erica's like, "Daddy, this thing is defective." Um, and then comes in and she's like, "Go to bed." And Erica's like, "No." And mom says, "You can't win all the time, Erica. It's just a race." And Erica says, "I know. I just hate to lose." And that Jordy kid. And mom's like, "Then why do you do it? For the trophies?"
Get ready for the cliche.
Oh my God. This part made me roll my eyes so much. And maybe it's because it's like the one of the last in lines of DCOMs that do this that we've watched already.
If this was like the third decom we watched for this
It would be
marathon,
less annoying.
maybe it would be, but it feels like this is in every decom.
This is the exact scene that's in Full Court Miracle, but like whatever. Mom's like, "Why do you do it? For the trophies?" Erica's like, "No,
Maybe it's
don't
also worse
laugh."
because it's at the beginning of the movie.
It's literally the beginning of the movie. She's like, "Don't laugh at me," and the mom's like, "I won't laugh. When I'm on the track, I feel like it's where I belong. I don't feel like I belong anywhere else." Literally Full Court Miracle. He's like, "When I have the ball in my hands."
It's in so many movies, and as a sports movie fan, it's annoying because it's like also in not sports movies too.
Yeah.
Troy Bolton kind of says this about acting.
When I'm on stage with Gabriella, I just feel like it's where I belong.
With Gabriella.
Ice Princess be like, when I'm on the ice, I
That's
just
not. That's where you feel like you belong, Mom.
no, no. The mom feels like she belongs in Harvard, and Ice Princess. Oh, I guess let's talk about
Yeah,
the other girl.
yeah.
Yeah, the other girl's like, I wanted to take math class and hang out with my boyfriend. I don't want to ice skate Samantha from Sex in the City. And Joan Cusack's the other mom. Ice Princess is wild. I love that
It's
movie.
crazy. Rest in peace, Michelle
Michelle.
Trachtenberg.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I probably should know that before saying rest in peace, but
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's it. Yeah. So Erica's like, I don't feel like I belong anywhere else. And sometimes it kind of scares me when I see other kids doing stuff and all I want to do is race. Sometimes I feel like an alien or something.
Alan.
I'm an alien. And the mom's like, you're just a little different. And which at your age is difficult. Just don't make it rougher on yourself. No one wins all the time. Cool. So that's that.
Again, very fair and reasonable parenting.
Yeah.
We're not really going to complain about the parents, which gives us not that much to talk about.
Oh.
All right. We can honestly just speed through this movie.
All right, let's go. Let's speed race it. Speed drag race
Yeah, we're going to
it.
talk about Speed Racer instead. John Goodman was great.
So then Courtney's playing pretend in the car in the garage, and she's like, I can't wait till I can drive one of these. We can race against each other. And
Erica's
Eric,
like, ew, no, I'm not going to race against you.
we're in a different age bracket. And Courtney's like, why won't you race me? And Erica's like, when I win, it just means I beat a little kid. But if by some miracle you beat me, then I lost to a kid. Lose-lose situation for me. Which is kind of fair, but also I don't think she's that much younger than you. Little kid.
It's like a 4-year age
Is it
difference, I
that
think.
big?
I think so.
I feel like it's more like 2 years, in my opinion. Maybe it's a little more. Maybe it's like 3 or 4. Whatever. Courtney says, "You crack me up. You take it so serious. It's just a race." And then they just banter some more, like, "You're too serious, man." And Erica kicks her out. They talk about it a lot. It's like, "You're so serious."
Yeah. Yeah. This will be the B, the B or C plot. It's not nearly as many plots as the last movie we talked about. Um, but there are that this is like the side plot of the movie. The main one is Erica's racing slash internalized pressure slash fighting the fight for women, and the B plot is Courtney versus Erica.
But, like, in a nice sibling way
Yeah.
and not in a actually super competitive way. Yeah, okay. So at school, by the way, school is always French class.
There's only one class we see. It's a French class. This is like a 5-second scene, and it has stuck with me since our watch.
Can we pause it? So Erica gets a note passed to her from her friend Luann. And the note we thought was very funny. So it says, Erica, flower.
It's
Like a
draws a
drawing of
picture of
flower.
a flower.
Erica, the flower. Party at sign. Like she wrote it out. She's not texting. This is a handwritten note. Party at my house on Saturday! Exclamation points. Lots of chocolate
Underlined.
underlined and hot guys underlined. And then says Luann, like sign Luann, heart, heart, heart.
It's so wild. Like someone made this prop, and it's for a like 5-second scene, and she just goes, "I can't. I'm going to be racing."
Yeah, I'm racing. She like motions her. I'm racing.
What? And that's it. And
Yeah,
it really
you're
has
right.
no real relation. I guess it sets up that she's looking for a boyfriend through the film.
Yeah, well, it kind of sets up her friend, and it sets up that she's always busy on the weekend.
But like, this is just kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
I love the note. That would be a great prop to own.
The note.
That like I would frame that.
Get Brie Larson to sign it, even though she's not in that scene at all. If I ever meet Brie Larson somehow, I
Or-
want to print out right on track like she and have her sign
No,
that.
I really want to meet like a celebrity who is in a DCOM. I think the best one is like Tyler James Williams
Yeah, for Let It Shine.
for Let It Shine because he's so popular right now for Abbott Elementary, and then Everybody Hates Chris is way bigger than Let It Shine was, and just be like, hey, can you perform "Song Is Truth" for me?
Should we film a short video of you saying it's more than a crush? More than... Oh, wait, no. Roxy, I'm
Roxy, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Roxy, I'm sorry would be so much better. Can you just quick on film say Roxy, I'm sorry for me?
We would turn that into like a sound effect to be used on this podcast.
We would. We would. We have a little soundboard. I don't know how it works, but I could program it.
We should, if we have extra time, we should be able to try and figure out some fun little DCOM moments.
Roxy, I'm
Right now,
sorry.
that would for sure be one. That'd be hilarious to put in at points. It's
Uh,
like, uh-oh, Roxy, I'm sorry. And it's like, she's really good.
It's really that one would be great. She's really good.
If you have ideas for DCOM sound effects you want us to put into a soundboard, let us know. That could be fun.
That'd be great. So at a race now, guys, we're back at the racetrack. Can you believe it? Courtney's racing this time though, and she kills it. And Erica and Dad celebrate. And
Yeah, everyone like is there just to help as like pit stuff, setup, race, yada yada.
and then we learned that Courtney broke the record, which was previously held by Erica.
Yeah, for like the age class
Yeah.
and stuff. So Erica is now just annoyed by this, and Courtney's like, "Girl, why are you always so mad when I do better than you?"
Yeah, and she's like, "What's the matter?" And Erica's like, "You had a good time. That's all. That's all. Whatever." And then like they go in the trailer, and Courtney's like, "Why do you put on makeup when you're just gonna put on a helmet anyway?" And it's like, whatever. And then a guy comes and knocks on the trailer for an interview, but it's not for Erica. It's for Courtney. Oh
Ugh.
my god, the sibling rivalry. That's the end of the scene. Okay, so then Erica's talking with her friend Randy, who like
Ra-
works on
Randy is like
her
the
crew.
crew chief
Yeah.
for the team. His situation is like there's a lot of unknowns with
Yeah, we
his
don't know why
situation.
he's here. How do they know him?
But he's like clearly been essentially a part of the family team for the whole time.
Yeah, my guess is he's just like a friend that is actually really interested in like cars and drag racing.
And he does this as like a part-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he and Erica are actually friends too.
Yeah.
So Erica's complaining about Courtney. She's annoyed that Courtney is so good at interviews when Erica gets so nervous, and Courtney also doesn't try as hard, but she's just as good, if not better, than Erica. And Randy's like, "Well, she has an advantage. She has you. Like you taught her everything." And Erica says, "You know, for a boy, you say some pretty intelligent things once in a while." And then Randy sees some boys, and I think he sees some girls actually. He sees some girls, and Erica's like, "I'm gonna find you a girlfriend." And Randy's like, "What about you? Where's your boyfriend?" And she's like, "I'm so busy racing." Well, not every weekend. I think it is every weekend.
It officially isn't every weekend, but it for the purposes of this movie, it is. There's like one weekend the whole time where it's like I can actually stay home.
Yeah. And then Erica says, "I don't know, they're just intimidated by me or something." And then a pretty girl comes by and all the boys come and talk to her. And Erica's like, "I don't get it. Like, why do they all talk to her?" And Randy says it's because she loses.
Yeah, just
And
be a
Erica's a winner.
loser. The guys are like so testosterone. I gotta be the better than my girlfriend.
Hmm.
I just settled for a girlfriend that's better than me in every way.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay. Now we're in gym class. Whoa, we're at a different place. That's not French class.
Yeah, there is one other class and it's gym.
It's gym. Erica looks all flirty towards some boys. She likes boys.
She ain't gay.
And Luann says, "Come on, let's practice." And then some girls bully Erica for racing. They're like, "Oh, you're a racer?
You think you're
Oh,
an athlete?
you're not an athlete." And then they start volleyball practice. And they're like, "You're here for a real sport, Erica?" And she turns around and she's like, "Are you saying what I do isn't a real sport?" And they're like, "Yeah, you just sit on your butt." And Erica says, "It's super hard to drive the car. You're going like super fast with the wind, and it's really hard to drive. It takes muscles, and it's dangerous." And then she turns around and they're doing a drill, and she spikes the volleyball super hard. Like, you show them, Erica.
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to be like, yeah, she won. And for some reason, this is like the only scene that stuck with me in the
Girls
years after
winning.
watching this was just like, no, it's Erica being like, yeah, what I do is a sport. I feel the G forces of the car, and it's hard to move my shoulder. But if I crash, people could die.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So
okay.
suck it.
But honestly, the thing that makes it less of a sport to me is that it happens in 10 seconds.
What about like Long jump.
Not a sport.
Pole vaulting, like all of those stuff.
Pole vaulting,
Javelin and
yeah.
disc, whatever. Like
Those are
those are
events, not sports. How about that?
track and field is the sport.
Exactly.
Well, then racing is a sport and drag racing is an event.
Honestly, I kind of agree. I was making this mostly
Okay.
as a joke, but I think I do kind of agree with that.
All right.
Like, I'd have to really think about if that's actually true, but that feels right to me, you know?
Sport is such a weird word because it's like, what is a sport? What counts as a sport?
Like, a lot of ways, chess is considered a sport, and it's like, really? But also, maybe. Then there's esports.
Yeah. The line is blurred everywhere. And I always say, like, I don't think dance is a sport or cheerleading because it's to me that's a performance. But it's an athletic activity and there are competitions for it. So it's just like a blurred line.
There can be sport dancing, but not all dancing is sport.
But there was breakdancing at the Olympics.
And that didn't really count. Shout out to Raygun.
Ring.
Come on the podcast.
Please. Our podcast that doesn't have any video footage, so we
Exactly.
can't see your sick moves. All right. So now Erica is complaining to her dad about how Jordy gets a bunch of sponsors and Erica doesn't get any, and it's because she's a girl. And she's going on a rant. She goes, "I'm sorry, Dad. I know it's a lot of money." And he says, "Well, how about you let me worry about the money?"
I'm gonna go talk to a guy, try and get a sponsor, and you just keep racing and doing your best, and that's what you can focus on.
Yeah, he's like, "I know it's not fair. It's because you're a girl, so I will try." Um, so then later Dad comes home and tells Erica like Mr. White can't sponsor her because people are mad that she's beating all the boys. When you get closer to nationals, then they can't ignore you and we'll try again.
Yeah.
And
He's genuinely giving it a try, and he's also just say you can't focus on this. I will find a way to make the payments work. Don't worry about that.
yeah, because he's
I
a
really
good
respect.
dad. He's a great dad. Yeah, and it's so dumb. It's just like, oh yeah, he said people don't like that you're a girl beating boys. When it's so it makes me mad because you want to sponsor someone who's good.
Yeah.
If she was a girl losing, would they sponsor her? No, because also she's a girl.
Yeah. Also, I feel like maybe I'm thinking about this, and maybe this is more of just an of the era thing. Well, there's times where you want to sponsor the breakout, different one, because having your eyes on your product when you're sponsoring something different can be valuable.
But people start protesting your product. You know how people were vandalizing Ben and Jerry's for being woke?
Mhm.
A girl drag race, pretty woke.
Yeah, but this was before the word woke was invented.
That's true. Okay. So now back at volleyball practice, Erica runs into the ball cart and she's like, I'm fine, I'm fine. But after practice, Luann's like, you should go see a doctor. It's
Barely
pretty
left your
bad.
arm.
And Erica's like, no, I'm fine. If my parents find out, they won't let me race. So then that night, Erica's sleeping and her mom sees the really bad cut on her shoulder and it has ice on it. And yeah, she sees it. And so she goes in the garage to tell dad. And she's like, she has a bruise on her shoulder the size of an orange. She has to cut back on racing. And the dad's like, well, then she won't make it to nationals. And the mom says, I don't care. You're pushing her too hard. Which is crazy because this happened because of volleyball, the injury.
Yeah.
But it is fair, she shouldn't be doing this with a hurt shoulder.
Yeah.
But she's like, you're pushing her too hard. Who are you doing this for? Her or you? And the dad just fully opens up and is vulnerable to his wife. We love the dad. He says, at first I was jealous. And let's face it, she is better than me. But that's not it. She's passionate. She has more passion for this than anyone I've ever seen. And she's a special instinct. And if God gives you a talent like that, you have to see it through. And the mom's like, well, I'm just worried that she's missing out on being a kid. And the dad's like, if her court ever want to quit, I won't stand in the way. And they hug.
And it's a very reasonable adult conversation.
Yeah. Which is really great to see, but also boring as hell.
There's no fight, there's no stakes. In motocross, we were able to have so much detail about how terrible the dad was.
Yeah, and that's fun to talk about. And this, as angry as we were at the dad,
Look,
it's funny.
It doesn't even necessarily make for a bad movie, necessarily, but it makes for a worse podcast.
Yeah,
We have
Erika
nothing
was
to
fun.
add.
And this movie is just like, oh, they did the right thing.
Okay,
Okay,
moving on.
moving on. So now we're at time
What, they're
trials,
racing again?
but time trials.
Yeah. We don't get any more information on her injury.
Nope, she's fine. I guess, yeah. We see some sick race cars. Jordy's being interviewed. Erica's hanging out with Randy and sees Jordy. And Erica's like, I'm going to beat him in the time trials. And Randy's like, don't take it personally. And Erica's like, too bad. I hate that he beat me, so I am going to take it personally. And and then, oh my God, Jordy said guys. Like,
Yeah,
I'm racing
he's
against
like, it's like,
guys.
yeah, I can beat the guys here or whatever.
Ugh, I can't believe he said that. Erica's right there.
He didn't see Erica, to be
No,
fair.
but she's part of the race.
Yeah.
And then it's time for Jordy's time trial run. And Erica watches very intently. And the dad's like, relax, it's just a time trial. So he takes off and he gets 8.91. And Erica goes, I can beat that.
Well, I can beat 8.91 seconds.
So Erica goes on for her time trial and she gets 8.89. So that's better by 0.02.
Woo!
Woohoo! She did it. And then after that, Erica and her dad go up to Jordy and his dad, and Erica tosses them some tissues and says, "This is for when I beat Jordy." And they drive away.
And the dad is just immediately
He's
pissed.
pissed. He's like, "Why would you do that, Erica? This is the first time you've actually embarrassed me." And and Erica's like, but it's okay when he does it. And he says, you're not him. You've been taught better. You want to lower yourself? Go ahead. A while ago, I had to teach you how to lose, but I never thought I would have to teach you how to win. I know it'll feel good for a few minutes to throw back at him, but in the end, you just cheapen yourself. You're better than that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Good
this dad
advice.
rules. So this is literally, and this never happens again. Like this character arc immediately fixed because the dad says so.
He says
Like,
the right things.
yeah. Erica's like, you haven't yelled at me in a long time. And the dad's like, yeah, well, don't make it do it again because I don't like it.
And that's the scene.
That's the scene. Like, there are many conflicts in this movie that are immediately solved. This is one of them.
Yeah.
So then back to racing, Jordy versus Erica. This is going to be a dandy. I think is what the announcer said. This is going to be a dandy. What's that mean?
It's going to be a dandy.
It's going to be a dandy. Erica jumps the start.
Damn.
She goes before a screen. So she's immediately disqualified. I can't believe you don't get a second try. You just fail.
Yeah. No, this is not a false start type thing.
It's just, you're disqualified. Bye.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I mean, I don't know all the rules of drag racing, but I think that's true.
Yeah. So Erica lost because she jumped the start. She was so nervous. Jordy was in her head.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. During French class, Erica plays her little light up game again to practice the starts because she messed up last time. So, yeah. And the teacher sees it behind her book and takes it from her. And that's the whole scene.
That's it.
So then at the racing like tournament, whatever, Courtney and the dad work on a car, and a guy comes up to talk to the dad, and he's like, "Hey, my daughter is a huge fan of Erica's. If Erica like shows me something today, she might get a sponsor." And then,
They're like, whoa.
well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And he's like, "Yeah, I think Erica's got a chance to win nationals." And then he goes away, and dad tells Courtney, like, don't tell Erica. She puts enough pressure on herself already. And
Very valid. I normally don't like hiding things from your kids, but like this is the type of thing where the knowledge of that isn't going to improve her life.
No. No, it's going to psych her out in her head, or it'll get her hopes up just to be let down. Like, I think this is fine. And Courtney's like, yeah, tell me about
But
it.
then they both are so excited about the prospects.
Yeah.
Because it's a lovely family.
It is a very lovely family. Yeah. At the race, Randy sees that a bolt is loose right before Erica's about to take off. So they try to stop her, but like the light's already going. So Erica shoots off, and the dad has a headset that he can talk to Erica through. And he says, Erica, stop the car, but it won't shut off.
Yeah, there's a technical issue, and Randy only noticed it at the start of the race.
And it's crazy because like the car won't turn off either.
Yeah.
And
Because all this stuff is set to go essentially as fast as possible.
Mhm. It's actually so scary because she's going down the track and the dad
At
just
a
says,
very fast amount of speed.
yeah, and the dad says, you're gonna go in the sand, okay? Just hold on." So they like the track is pretty long, and then they have like some mesh kind of nets and like
To
sand
help
pits.
slow everything
Yeah,
down if in this case.
yeah. And it's so scary. Like Courtney just turns around and hugs her mom because all they can do is sit and wait for her to crash to a stop.
Yeah.
It's actually terrifying. This part like almost made me want to tear up. How like scared they are
And it's
and
done pretty realistically.
yeah, and how scared Erica
Because it's
is.
something where, like, fundamentally, it's not going to be a big explosive crash or something, but it's not going to be good.
It's not gonna be fun. And let me tell you, I've been on a highway driving a car when my brakes fell out, and that shit was so scary.
Yeah, you have some relation to all of that.
Yeah. And I didn't crash. I just like coasted to a stop. I kind of rode the shoulder a little bit. Luckily, I was on the highway, which sounds scary, but it was actually nice because I had so much road ahead of me that I could just slowly let the car slow down on its own. And I was totally fine. I didn't hit anything, but it was so scary. Imagine going 100 miles per hour or like faster, like however fast they go, and knowing that your car isn't stopping.
Yeah, you just
Oh
have
my
to
God.
hope gravity does its part.
Yeah. So she like crashes into the nets. She doesn't flip over anything, but she's like, bumped and it's really scary.
And a helicopter comes in.
Yeah, they immediately call a helicopter to come get her.
They
Like
probably have
worst
one on
case scenario.
standby.
Yeah, which is crazy. Um, so the mom and dad watch her fly away in the helicopter. So then in the hospital waiting area, the whole family's super worried. And the mom goes to the dad and says, if it was dangerous, would I let her do it? Do you remember saying that? I remember you
Janet
saying
Lee,
that.
don't.
Janet Lee, don't. Her name's Janet Lee. And she says, don't what? Be upset? I saw my daughter crash and I don't intend to see it again. And then the doctor lets Courtney in and tells the parents, like, she's totally going to be fine. No broken bones or anything. You can take her home. So, best case scenario, she is uninjured, which is great. So then Courtney helps Erica get her coat on and hugs her. And she's like, I was so scared. And Erica's like, I'm fine. I just want to get back on the track. So then Randy works on rebuilding her car, and Erica asks about it, like, is it good to go? And he's like, yeah. She says, cool, I want to race again. So she goes and tells her parents, like, I want to make a run. And they're like, no, the races are over today. And she says, I really need to make one run. Even though she just got out of the hospital. It's the same day.
Yeah, and it's like a good point of theirs. Like, if I don't do it right now, the amount of time that's going to be between it, I'm going to be really scared the next time. But this is something I want to keep doing. So
Yeah. I need
just
to
need
do it
one
right
run.
now so I don't get in my head. Just get it out of the way so that I feel safe doing it again. Um, and the mom lets her do it.
Yeah, which is a little surprising considering the scene we just got before this. But
Yeah.
again, I think they both just know how much she loves doing it.
Yeah. So then it's sunset. Erica's gonna do her run. The music is very dramatic and sad. And the sponsor guy is watching from the
Oh my
stand.
god, he's showed up.
Yep. Erica buckles in, very dramatic, and she does it. She races successfully. What a relief. Everyone's relieved. That night, they're in the trailer, and Randy is also there.
Yeah, he's just with them.
He hangs out.
Yeah.
Courtney says, I want my new car to be cherry red. And Erica's like, if anyone's gonna get a new car, it's me. You can just have my old one. And she says, why do I always get the hand-me-downs? And then Dad's like, nobody's getting a new car. And then Randy has some wasabi on a burger.
He keeps asking for stuff to be put on his burger, and it's just a weird combination.
Yeah. And then sponsor guy knocks on the trailer door and they invite him in.
He's like, "Hey, I'm from Pennzoil. We're gonna give you money."
Yay, we want to sponsor you, Erica. And Erica's like, why are you offering this the day I got into an accident? And he's like, well, I told your dad I had hoped you'd show me something today. And when you got back in that car after what happened, that really showed me something. So what do you say? And Erica's like, one condition. You also have to sponsor my sister.
Pretty bold, but it works.
Yeah, he says, you know what? Why not? So hell yeah, they both are sponsored now. That is so nice of Erica with when all we've seen of her is, like, the sibling rivalry.
Yeah. But they do like each other.
They do. So then Erica's doing a photo shoot, and she's just standing there, like, not giving anything to the camera. And then it's Courtney's turn, and she's, like, posing and having fun and
She's
natural.
Yeah, she's a star in front of the
Yeah,
camera.
she just has fun. And Erica rolls her eyes, and she's like, "Quit trying to be cool." And then Courtney says, "I don't have to try." And then they also get interviewed.
Yeah.
And they have their new sponsor stuff on. So now it's Courtney's turn to race, and Erica lectures her like to start taking things more seriously. And Courtney's like, "Ugh,
Ew.
whatever." It's race time, and her new car is the cherry red. It's very nice. And Courtney wins the race by a
Yeah,
landslide.
she's really good.
Yeah, she's really
Press
good.
the button.
That night Erica also races in her cool new yellow car. So Erica's yellow and Courtney's red. And we see a montage over multiple days of the girls racing. And one car has flames coming out of it.
Whoa.
Not their
Crazy.
car, just a different car that's there.
Yeah. Pretty fun. Now they're out signing autographs.
Yes, in one interview, it was like, "Do you guys have boyfriends?" Which is so lame. Also, like, I know teenagers like have boyfriends and stuff, but these are children.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Do you have boyfriends?" Ugh. And Courtney's like, "Well, I'm not allowed." And Erica doesn't have one because all the boys are afraid that she'll want to drive. And then Erica talks to a little girl who says she also wants to drive someday.
Aw.
Aw.
Yeah. This is just another short scene. And then we get another short scene. They like to do a couple of these cuts.
Mhm.
But this one's unique. Erica's doing her driver's
Yeah,
test.
she's driving a huge truck for driving tests, and she just flies around the course and doesn't hit anything.
She does everything perfectly. The instructor's like, I have a stopwatch. I'm gonna time this.
Yeah, I don't know why he timed it.
I don't know. It's just like doesn't really make sense, but it's really just showing. Yeah, of course she's gonna pass her driving test.
But all she does is drive in a straight line.
I think it would have been way funnier if if she struggled with
And
it.
she struggled and says, like, I only go straight. Like, or she fails because she's going too fast or something. But that's not an issue here.
Yeah.
Like, this course doesn't have a single stop sign on it. My course, I took the test on a closed course.
Mhm.
And it had like cute little stop signs and
This
stoplights.
one just had cones because
Yeah,
they probably didn't want to set up too much. This probably had a very low budget.
that's
There
probably
was
true.
no real established stars other than the lead, who I think was already on Seventh Heaven at that point.
Alright, yeah. So now we're back at volleyball practice, and Erica looks at a boy again. I think it's Todd. And her and Luann talk about needing a date to some party. Apparently, the party is at an ice rink,
Yeah, it seems like a school dance, kind of,
but it's an ice rink. It's
but it's
not a
an ice rink, so
dance.
it's weird.
I don't know. Everybody's going though. Um, and Luann's like, "You should ask Todd." And then Todd is about to come over to talk to Erica, but then other girls distract him. And Luann's like, "Oh, well, maybe somebody else?" And Erica's like, "I want to go with somebody I actually like, not just any random guy." So cut to Randy showing up at her house saying he's like, "I don't know how to skate." And Erica's like, "Relax, me neither. It's gonna be fun though." And so they leave. So he goes with Randy because she
Yeah,
actually likes
that
him.
makes sense.
And Erica's like, "When are you gonna get your license?" And Randy says, "What's the point? I never go anywhere." And then they get in Erica's truck, and the little like rim of the license plate says, "This is not my boyfriend's truck," which I thought was cute.
Mhm.
So now at the ice rink, Erica and Randy are in a little like taxi car thing
That brings
that
him to
brings
the center of the ice rink?
I guess is that safer than just getting on the edge?
I would assume not.
I don't know. They get out and Randy sucks at skating, and then Todd comes over and she's like, "Oh, hi Todd, this is Randy." And they slip and stuff, and Todd gets called off somewhere
Yeah,
else.
they're having a silly little time.
Yeah, they're making it seem like, oh, maybe Erica will choose Randy instead of Todd. That
Even
doesn't
though Todd
happen.
really just became a character
Yeah.
seconds ago.
He literally has 0 personality traits so far.
Yeah.
Um, and then Luann shows up in the taxi and she's like, "My date didn't show because he smells like beer. So I ditched him." Good for
Good
you,
for you.
Luann. And then Erica and Randy fall, and Randy's like, I think we do better on wheels. And cut to everyone leaving their ice rink, and Randy's like, hey, Erica, do you want to go get a bite to eat? And she's like, yeah. And then the popular bitches that were bullying her earlier, their car broke down, and also Todd is there.
Yeah, Todd's going with one of them.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, Erica, can you help us? Because you know about cars. So she like jumps their car or whatever.
Yeah, she fixes whatever mechanical issue they were facing, and they're like, "Thank you, we couldn't do that ourselves."
Yeah, like you kind of saved our lives, and they were actually being nice. And then Todd's like, hey, we're going to a party if you want to come. And Erica kind of looks at Randy and goes like, no thanks, we've got plans. All right, see you later.
Yeah, and they go out to eat off camera.
So you're like, oh my god, she's choosing Randy.
But no,
Oh, yeah, okay. So then they pull up to Randy's house, and Randy's like, you know, you could have gone to the party. I wouldn't mind. And Erica's like, I didn't want to. And he's like, do you ever think we could do this for real? You mean like a date? Wow, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it would be kind of like dating my brother, which you basically are.
brother zoned.
And he's like, yeah, it would be kind of weird. All right, think you can get me a date with Luann? And then he leaves, and then it's like, that's it.
Yeah, which we were talking about it during the movie. This is completely realistic human. Like, this is how this stuff actually happens so much in life. But it's so weird to see it in a plot because it's like the least interesting way this plot can go.
Literally, there's zero drama at all. Like, it could be that she's ditching Randy to go hang out with the popular girls who hated her before. That's what Read and Weep did.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they didn't do that. Like, maybe she ditches Randy for Todd. No, that didn't happen. Oh, well, then maybe she'll date Randy. No, that didn't happen either. Like, literally nothing happens. She just hangs out with Randy because she's friends with him. And then that's it. And it is, like, very realistic in real life, but it doesn't make a good movie.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is. It really.
Wild in the most mundane possible.
It is mundanely wild.
All right, so now back in class. Remember,
There's
French
only one
class.
class, like French.
They're getting their grades back. Well, it's actually just like a progress report, and Erica gets
You
a
couldn't check your
B.
grades online at this point.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. She gets a B. B average. She needs an A.
He's like, oh, that means I'm not going to be able to race outside of Houston.
So she goes up to her teacher and she's like, I need an A. What can I do? And he's like, well, you can do some extra credit and you have to get an A on the final to get your grade from a B to an A. And she's like, okay, I will. So at home she shows her parents the B and they're like, this isn't good. And she's like, it's just a progress report. Like, I already talked to the teacher. I can get up to an A. The mom's like, if you get a B on your report card, you can only stay in Texas. But the last qualifier is in Salt Lake City. If I can't race there, I can't go to nationals. And the dad's like, too bad. There's always next year. The deal's a deal. And she says, I'll get an A on my final and it'll be fine. And the dad says, I hope so. This is the deal we made. Your mom and I have held up our end, so I hope you hold up yours. And Erica says, no problem. So, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So then Erica's studying in the library, and Todd comes up to her, and they chat. And then he offers her help with French. And they have a very flirty study session where they're speaking French at each other. And I wrote, why are the only classes in the school French and volleyball?
It's so true. I mean, school's just not really a focus of this, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, this scene goes on for a while.
They're
Actually,
just flirty.
they're so flirty. And then outside school, they're walking together, and Erica's like, thank you again. Merci. And Todd's like, do you want to go out this weekend? And she's like, I can't this weekend.
And he's like, okay, what about the next weekend? She says,
No,
no.
I'm racing.
And she's like, oh, I get it. Bye.
And she's like, no, Todd. And he says, it's all right. I know you're busy.
Yeah.
Damn. So this is the conflict. So minor. So then Luann sees Erica. And she comes up and hands Erica an envelope. And she's like, hey, my sibling took French and he gives the same final every year. Here you go. And Erica goes, no, I don't want to cheat. And Luann says, don't think of it as cheating. Think of it as a study aid.
This is a dilemma that I wish they kind of went into more
I
with
wish it
this
was more of a dilemma.
because ultimately, unless it's like explicitly said otherwise, why couldn't you use this as a study? It's a previous year's test.
Yeah, I think Luann's totally right. This is a study aid because while it might be a pattern that he uses the same test every year, that's not guaranteed.
No.
He might switch it this year. This is a really great example of things that will be on the test.
Also, notably, the final is like um 10 match to a word, and
Yeah.
like 3 sentences you write is a 1 page final.
It's not really anything that you can like, oh, I memorized A B B A C D. Like it's not like that. It's a French final. You have to write in French. Like
I guess you know what is being asked. You
yeah,
can
so I
prepare.
guess you can prepare for that. But again, it's not guaranteed. Like I would totally look at it. I think that's totally allowed. Like if that's on the teacher, if
Well,
did he say explicitly you can't look at previous year's tests? No.
maybe he did. We don't hear everything that happens in class, and he speaks a lot of French.
College, my professors would provide us with old tests.
Yeah.
And it's because they changed it every year or every semester. But like, come on.
And
And this you think this is gonna be a bigger plot line where it's like she gets caught cheating or something, and that just she doesn't even do it.
yeah,
The
later on, it's when she's questioning her morals that leads to like the whole
yeah.
this part of the
Well,
plot.
that's the thing is she questions her morals, but then doesn't do it. This plot is immediately taken care of. Like this movie is like, oh, maybe, nah, just kidding.
Yeah. But let's not worry about that. We can continue on.
Volleyball
Yeah,
time.
remember she plays volleyball?
Hell yeah. Um, Erica spikes the ball and they win.
And they're
Hell
like, oh my
yeah.
god, the finals are on Saturday.
Yeah.
And
Oh, oh, are you gonna be able to make it, Erica, on Saturday? And she's like, yeah, my race is on Friday, and if we leave right away at night, we'll totally make it.
so she goes to her race on Friday night. And
I think
after,
she won.
yeah, it's really that's not the important part. The important part is on the way home, the car breaks down.
Yep.
And Erica's like, you gotta fix it faster. I have to make my volleyball
I'm
game.
gonna make it.
And the
And he's
dad's
like,
like,
okay.
there's nothing I can do that makes this faster.
Yeah. So then at the volleyball finals, Erica's team loses. And it's definitely because Erica wasn't
Yeah,
there.
they got crushed, and
Yeah.
everyone blames Erica. Every single person.
Yeah. Erica runs into the school as the game's ending, and her team walks out and says, thanks a lot, Erica. We got crushed. And Luann doesn't even look at her.
And
And
Luann's not in the rest of the
we
movie.
do not see Luann again.
So that's it. Their friendship's over.
Their friendship's over because she missed volleyball and caused them to lose.
Yeah.
And the coach comes out and says, I'm disappointed, Erica. You let your whole team down. Which I guess doesn't necessarily insinuate that they lost because of that, but she did let her team down. That she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And Erica is so sad.
Yeah. So she's like, uh-oh, I'm trying to study for my French final,
Should I
and
cheat?
should I cheat? And she pulls out the answer key, like with shaky hands, she looks at it, and then she rips it up and starts crying.
Not a cheater.
And then she takes all of her trophies and puts them in boxes
Yeah.
and goes, I quit.
The dad's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I quit. I don't want to race anymore. And he's like, well, that's kind of sudden.
It's a
You
very
sure?
quick decision.
Yeah, you want to tell me why? And Erica's like, a lot of things. School, I have no friends, guys don't like me, I keep messing up my French finals tomorrow, and for the first time in my life, I almost what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, she doesn't even admit
She
that she
doesn't even
almost
admit. Like this plot line is dropped like not. I just don't think it's worth it anymore. Her dad's like, I get it. You can quit if you want. And Erica says, I thought you would be mad. And he says, I'm surprised, but not mad. I think you're a very talented driver, but your mom and I will back you no matter what you choose.
she thought he was going to be mad.
Yeah. This dad is great.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine, and it's something where so many other movies would be like way more aggressively trying to talk stuff back into it, and he's like,
Hmm.
she just needs to feel the emotions right now, and I get that.
Yeah, and he asked the questions. He's like, "That's a really sudden decision. Like, let's talk about it." And so she says it, and he's like, "Okay, I won't push. Like, whatever you want to do, I will support you."
Yeah, it's something where when they set up earlier on, where he said like, "I won't stand in their way if they want to decide to quit."
And he actually
He needs,
followed
yeah,
through.
yeah, and I want to give it credit, but also now we have nothing more to talk about. So moving on.
Any other DCOM would have been like, "No, you can't quit," or something. Something would happen.
Yeah.
But I guess this is enough plot that she's quitting on her own. Um, at school, Erica calls Todd over and she's like, "I'm so sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude earlier. Like, I really still want to go out with you. I have more time now that I quit racing." And he's like, "You quit?" And she's like, "Yeah." And honestly, what I wanted to happen was Todd was like, "I don't respect that. I don't respect that you quit. I liked you because you were a fierce competitor."
But it's like, no,
No, he doesn't do.
he's respect. Everyone's respecting her wishes
Yeah,
because people are nice.
people are nice in this world. Um, she's like, "Now you sound like everyone else." And he's like, "Sorry, it's none of my business. I'll call you later. Okay, bye." And then they also speak some more flirty French at each other. And then Erica takes her French final and turns in the test. So then Randy's packing up the car, and Courtney says angrily that she can't believe she doesn't get Erica's car. And Erica's like, "It's not allowed in your age bracket." And she goes, "Yeah, right." She doesn't believe Erica.
I don't know.
And then Randy says it won't be the same without you, Erica. And she says, "Just take care of Courtney, okay?" All right. And the dad and Courtney and Randy leave, and Erica stays back with mom. And she's like, "What do kids do on the weekend?" Crazy.
And she just mopes around.
She mopes around, and it like hard cuts between Erica being super bored at home and Courtney racing and like dad and Randy having fun. And yeah, it's like a little montage of the
Yep.
contrast there.
And then that's the weekend.
That's the whole weekend. They get back home. Erica asks Courtney how she did, and Courtney says, "What do you care?"
And now the girls are gonna brush their teeth. And
Yeah, they're brushing their teeth
it's
right
very
next to each other.
aggressive.
Yeah. And Courtney angrily spits in the sink. And Erica says, "What's your problem?" And she says, "Nothing. You quit, and I might too." "Why?" "Because it's not fun without you." And Erica's like, "Well, that's stupid. You're really talented." She goes, "So are you. Now who's stupid?" And she says, "It's a lot of things, Court. You wouldn't understand." And Courtney's like, "I think you're just afraid that I might beat you someday."
I actually really like this part because it shows how we've been seeing everything from Erica's perspective, but if you look at this from Courtney's perspective, she consistently has told Courtney several times through the film, like, "I don't want to race you. I'm scared to race you, whatever."
And Courtney's been really good.
So it's like Courtney's just like, "This is so stupid that you're stopping because of me."
Yeah, because she doesn't know what's going on in
Oh,
Erica's head. Yeah.
and I like that you can see how some of this decision has consequences unexpected.
Yeah. So then in class, remember French class? It's the only class that exists.
We've said that every time they've gone to French.
It's because I always just wrote in class, but it is specifically French class. Erica gets her test back, and it's an
And she
A.
stands up and
Woo, woo,
dances in the middle of class.
woo, woo. And everybody laughs at her, but she's so excited, which is crazy because she quit racing. So why would she care?
She wants to go grades.
You know what I think? Part of the reason she quit?
She was scared she was going to be forced to.
Yeah, she was scared she was gonna fail French and she wouldn't be able to go to nationals anyway, so it's kind of a safeguard.
Yeah.
But now that she passed, she's like, "Okay, I can race."
Yep. And guess what? That's what happens. She goes back and says, I'm
gonna
looking.
race.
Well, no, actually, it's a very funny scene that, like, one of the few moments I'm like, the cinematography here is really funny
Yeah.
and, like, well done. We just see a cut of, like, the reflection of a picture frame, and we see Courtney dancing with a block of cheese and a cheese grater.
It's so funny.
And you see Erica bringing back in the trophies, and then it cuts over, like, hands over to the real Courtney, like, jaw agape, just going,
And she stops dancing, but she's still holding her cheese and her cheese grater.
yeah.
It is funny. Courtney's just like consistently goofy and fun. And I love that. And remember, it's little Brie Larson. It's really
Yeah.
fun. So then back to racing, Erica's back on top and she qualifies for nationals.
Yay, that was easy.
And then It's like towards the end of a racing day. She's already qualified for nationals, but she sees that she has a bye. And so she goes up to the commissioner and she's like, why am I not racing again? And he's like, oh, there was a last minute scratch.
Yeah,
So
like the person you would have raced against can't go,
yeah,
so
and
you're not racing.
since you already qualified, like you're good. And Erica's like, but I really want to race again for the practice. And then Courtney's like, I'll race you, I'll race her. And Erica's like, no, she's not in my age bracket. And she's like, but I have the same kind of car. And Erica was like, but it's against league rules, right? And Erica says, not a, or Courtney says, not if it's not a real competition. And the commissioner's like, I'm sorry, Erica, she's right, as long as your parents are cool with it. And Courtney says, they are.
Just like, yep, we're good. We're doing this.
We're
She
good.
literally skips away.
Yeah, she's so happy. So let's race. And the announcer says it's time for a special competition from the Ender sisters. It's out of competition. Yeah. Race for the Ender sisters. And the dad's like, Randy, you're running the show. Because Randy likes this stuff. And then the dad goes over to mom, and mom's like, you do realize that no matter who wins, it's gonna be a long ride home.
No matter what.
Yeah. So then they race, and while they're racing, Courtney says toodaloo and speeds ahead of Erica.
This is like a race that takes seconds, so it's very
Yeah,
weird.
toodaloo. And so Courtney won. And they pull up to the side and they get out of the cars, and Courtney says, "You didn't let me win, did you?" And Erica's like, "Yeah, right. I just got a bad start." And Courtney's like, "You're too tense. You just gotta relax. That's what works for me." And
Take a deep breath. Yeah.
yeah, Erica goes, "You want to go again?"
I don't know how they have the time to go.
I don't know why they let this happen, but yeah, sure. So they race again at the starting line. Courtney relaxes and Erica also relaxes and they take deep breaths and then they race. And this time, Erica pulls her head and she goes, bye bye. And she pulls ahead and she wins. And then they pull off to the side again. And Erica's like, you didn't let me win, did you? And Courtney goes, yeah, right.
And
So it was
that's
cute.
it. And that's the end of that whole arc,
This was
really.
like the one part of the movie that I remembered. And I thought Courtney was the runaway winner because, like, in Double Teamed, it was the sibling that cared less about it that was better. So I'm like, oh, that's also what happened in this movie. And, like, kind of, but not really.
Yeah. In real life, the older sister is better. There is a thing, I should have looked this up beforehand. There's a lot of studies and stuff actually that show in sports pretty consistently, there's like a statistically significant advantage for sports for the younger sibling. Um, there's other aspects, everything that comes to it and everything, but younger, like for pairs of siblings that make a professional league, the younger sibling is typically better. There's obvious examples all around. I discount this, so I don't need to go through specific examples, but in general, the younger siblings are better at sports, which is just interesting.
Makes sense, though, because they see their older sibling doing
They're
it
more
first.
ingrained within the sport from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah.
So
It's just
then,
it's interesting, but this is another real life example of that not holding.
yeah.
Because in real life, Erica's had a much more successful career than
Which,
Courtney.
like, maybe Courtney could have been better. I feel like her interest just might not have been. Or maybe she just genuinely wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
everything's
it's something we
possible.
don't know how the movie and everything is going to equate.
Yeah. So then in the trailer that night, the girls lay next to each other, and Erica wakes Courtney and says, thank you, Courtney, for the advice about relaxing. And Courtney says, the only time you lose is when you really, really want to win, like against Jordy. You just gotta relax, that's all.
It's good advice.
Yeah. So then it's a new day at home. Erica watches the news, which mentions the drag
Yeah, it's
race
like on
nationals.
ESPN.
Yeah. And they mention Erica. And then Todd rings the doorbell and Courtney answers it. And there's also Jordy's mentioned on the news or whatever. And then Courtney comes and gets Erica. I guess Todd is there.
Oh my god, Todd's at the door.
So then while Todd's waiting outside, he waves at the dad, and you can tell the dad's like, "Rah."
Yeah, I'm not ready for my girl to be dating.
What the heck? There's a boy in my house with a teddy bear. Yeah, so Erica comes out and Todd gives her a good luck present, which is a teddy bear, and Courtney's like, dang. Like
Ugh.
It's pretty rare. And he's like, I'll be watching on TV on Sunday with some friends. Good luck. Bye.
Yeah. They're together.
That's the last we see them interact, though. But what a nice guy Todd is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now they're heading off to nationals, and the girls ride in the truck behind the trailer, and they like buckled the Baron, which I thought was funny. And now we're in nationals in Phoenix, and I wrote the music kind of slaps because it was a Hillary Duff song. So
L to the yeah.
shout out Hillary Duff. So then the girls run into the nationals area and they see a cheering section for Erica, and it's a bunch of girls that see her for inspiration. It's really cute. And then Erica gets some pictures taken, and the interviewer's like, "What's it like being the only girl out there?" And she says, "It beats not being out there, I guess."
Yeah, and then another interviewer asks basically the same question.
Yeah, and she's like, "Why do you guys keep asking me that?" And Jordy gets asked, since your dad never won nationals, does that put more pressure on you? And he says, "No, my dad's never put pressure on me."
Gritting through his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then Erica's like, "Stop asking me like questions about me being a girl. I'm just like any other racer out here." Blah. Okay, so then Erica gets ready for her race, and they say "Rock and Roll Monkey, stick 'em" like they always do, and then Erica wins the semifinal, and it's one of the best times of the day. And Jordy's dad is like, "We gotta do something about this. The girls winning. We gotta do something."
Yeah. This is kind of insane.
It is.
And let's think about what's gonna happen here. He's gonna go to the commissioner and complain that the team is cheating. How do you think this is going to impact the end of the plot? Here's your multiple choice if you're playing at home. A, the they are going to plant a cheating device on the car and make them look like they're actually cheating.
hmm
B, they're gonna make them destroy the car and they're not gonna be able to put it back together in time for the competition after trying to verify it. C, they're just gonna trust them at face value and they have to prove their worth, and then they do it by like claims of sexism using the media. Or D, there's gonna be no actual effect of this and it just makes the family look stupid. If you guess D,
You're right. They
congratulations.
prove that they didn't cheat, and everything's fine. I thought so. This is very much like Miracle Lane 2, where they're like, he can't compete because blah 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 blah, and they're saying Erica can't compete because blah blah blah. And yeah, their claim is that she's cheating because
She keeps getting perfect starts, and they
yes,
think there's something that's giving her an advantage for that.
yeah, she's gotten a ton of perfect starts in a row, and the dad's like, "You call my daughter a cheater?" And he's like, "Nobody said her. It's you. You're a tech guy. You rigged the car." And so he's like, "No, I didn't." So they have to check out the car. And the commissioner's like, "Hey, man, if it was just this fucking asshole saying it, I would ignore him."
Which I really love. The way that the guy says it is, I know this guy's stupid and awful, but like other people also have signed
They
on,
signed the
so I
petition.
have to respect it.
He's like, "Hey, do you hate women? Sign my petition." I thought before they said what it was, I thought he was going to be like, "Says in the rules that a girl can't run."
Anti Airbud. What would the Airbud drag race
They never
pun
said
be? Air dog race.
dog race. The dog's driving a car. They put a dog in a car with a remote control. Um, yeah, no, because it's the scene starts out with the dad being like, you've known us such a long time. You know there's no truth in this. And I was like, you know that she's been a girl the whole time. What's shocking now? And then they get the media in and they're like, "Don't let the girl race, man." No, that's not what happens at all.
Not in the slightest.
Which I can't believe he came up with this. But he's like, "You must be cheating because she's so good."
Yeah.
Like, so you're admitting that she's amazing. Thank you. I wonder if this actually happened in real life.
Maybe.
I doubt it did.
Probably not. I feel like they wouldn't make this Jordy and his family's characters so unambiguously evil if they were real.
Yeah, they're like, we need any resemblance of a plot for this movie.
We really do.
So then they look over Erica's car, and Dad tells Randy, like, make sure they look it over really good. And later that night, they put the car back together. And this is when I thought, like, oh, they're not going to have time to put it together for tomorrow or something. No, they do.
No, it's
It's
fine.
totally
It
fine.
just takes the whole night and
Yeah.
nothing really happens. They're
Yes.
like, protest dismissed.
Yeah, the investigation happened. There's no evidence about, like, cheating. They did not rig the car. So,
Yeah.
sexism didn't win. Let's go.
Jordy's dad is like, "Ugh, I know you've got something in this car.
And the dad's like, you know what I got in this car? Teenage girl. That was such a better clapback than I would have come up with.
Yeah. Well, you aren't scripting a movie,
Yeah.
so.
It's a teenage girl, so fucking suck it, my man.
It's a teenage girl, so fucking suck it, my man.
Um Okay, I'll admit he didn't say fucking suck it, my man. He says, we'll see who's laughing tomorrow. And they storm off. Okay. That night, Erica and Courtney talk, and Courtney goes, are you asleep? And Erica goes, yeah.
I love this. So we know now that Erica's asleep, so she's not going to hear anything that Courtney said.
Yeah, she said she's asleep. So Courtney says, I just want you to know that I know we fight and stuff sometimes, but you know all the medals and trophies I have? I wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for you. Racing is for boys. I never would have had the guts if it weren't for you. It's easier for all of us now because of you. So no matter what happens tomorrow, I'm really proud that you're my sister.
And yeah, like Erica definitely would be tearing up and being really like happy and proud, but she's fully asleep.
But she's asleep,
So-
so she doesn't hear it, unfortunately. Right. So then the next day, we see the racetracks. Erica is looking around for Randy, and he's actually in Erica's car sleeping. And he's like, oh, I was up all night making sure the car was put back together right. I don't trust anyone with your car but me. And then she's like, well, let's go. And then he struggles to get out of the car.
It's a pretty tight car.
It is.
You
It's
don't
really
waste
tight.
any space.
Yeah, and he's like a little bit of a chunkier kid, and Erica's like a small teenage girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Haha. Now it's time for the final race. Todd is watching back home with his watch party. They made signs to hold up in the living room. Crazy stuff. And Erica, I think, gets more cheers from the crowd than Jordy.
Pretty sure about
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why you should sponsor her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordy means business, and his dad tells him to show this little girl who's boss. Tell me you're insecure without telling me
Yeah.
you're insecure.
If anyone uses the term little girl, like,
Yeah.
as an aggressive thing, that's just wild.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Where's the energy from the first dad that she raised against? Who's
Well, I
like,
guess that's why
try
he's
your
not.
best.
That's why he's not here.
It's true. That kid quit racing. Okay. So Erica's dad says, "Go monkey," blah blah blah. Like they always say this stuff. And then Erica, they're getting ready, and she hears a bunch of voices in her head, like,
Oh my god, you're a
"Oh,
girl
you're
that's stupid and evil, and she's getting in her head.
loser," blah blah blah. And it's like, "Oh, you jumped the light, you red lighted or whatever," and she like kind of jolts forward.
Yeah, but it's still in like the early stages of the countdown, so they're like,
Yeah.
okay, we can reset.
She's
No
like,
worries.
like the lights hadn't even started yet, so they just push her back. The dad's like, "You good?" And she says, "I'm good. I'm good." And then Courtney from a distance, like Erica can't actually hear her right now, but she's like, "Just take a deep breath and relax." And Erica can feel that aura energy coming towards her. So then Erica starts hearing new voices in her head. That's like, "You're so cool. You're the best sister I ever had. You're so good at racing." And she takes a deep breath and they take off. And it's a close race. But Erica wins.
Yeah.
Bam.
Now that's the movie, really. I mean, we're gonna get the conclusion of everything here, but
Jordy's dad is pissed. And Jordy's pissed.
they get out of the cars and they shake hands.
Yeah, Jordy, for the first time in his life, probably because his dad wasn't right next to him, is a
He
good
actually
sport.
says words.
Yes. He says, like, congrats, you're a great driver. I'm going to race you again someday. And Erica's like, you got it. And then her family comes down the track and they celebrate. Yeah. And then Erica gets her trophy.
Oh my god, it's the trophy she said at the beginning of the movie. I'm gonna get
She's
this.
just fuming on. And the commissioner and the president of the racing thing, whatever.
The president of the United States.
United States present her as the winner. And then Erica is like, Courtney, come here. We celebrate together. She says, you're next. And Courtney's like, I'm totally gonna beat your time. And then she finally gets the trophy that she said she was gonna get, like from the beginning. And then that's the end of the movie. But we get little cards that are like, real life Erica, blah blah blah. So
Which is funny because again, they cut this well before their actual careers.
yeah, she was in college. So this is what the cards say. Erica Enders was voted the National Hot Rod Association Rookie of the Year in 2001. She has won 37 junior drag racing titles. She attends college at Texas A&M University. Courtney Enders has won 26 junior drag racing competitions. And then we see a picture of them for real life, and it says this year over a quarter of all junior drag racers are girls.
Yeah, I don't know how that stat's changed over the years.
I think it's more now.
Yeah.
Which is really cool that they can end up like the point of the story is that she's an inspiration for other girls to start dragging. Like she kind of paved the way.
Yeah.
Is the point of the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was just before she was an even bigger success because the movie is truly about her junior
Yes.
racing career. So it just sucks that they couldn't say. And then she went on to win so many
She
national
became
trophies
the most successful female motorsport ever.
ever. And she's like, I also have a DCOM about me. Check it out.
Yeah,
Brie Larson's in
suck it, Danica Patrick.
And that's right on track.
Yeah. In terms of how we ranked this before, at Jank House we had it 82nd. I had it 72nd. Kelsey had it 94th. I don't think any of ours are that mean. Maybe you're being too mean to it.
I'm
But at the
being a
same
little
time,
mean.
well, this movie it's boring, but it's boring in like the most acceptable way.
Well, and the thing is, when I watched this the first time and put it in this ranking, I was not paying attention. I was just like, that one was boring. I have it at the bottom of my D tier.
It's like it's just really not much to talk about.
Yeah.
If you would have to make a major change. A lot of these times I say like there's a lot of small things you could do to improve a DCOM. To make this one better, you have to like fundamentally change everything.
You need a lot more drama.
They didn't do anything execution-wise bad.
Right.
It just was like not exciting or all that like engaging.
Yeah. It's
And
like if you want just good examples of some like healthy relationships and good old fight against misogyny, sure. This is totally fine. But
this
it's
is
just
you could
boring.
throw this on to like a dentist office and be totally satisfied for
Yeah.
5 minutes that you watch it.
Hell yeah, dentist material.
That's what we really recommend. That should be a metric.
D tier for dentist.
Yeah, that's as much as I really could say. Well, I'm surprised how long we've been able to talk about this movie.
Yeah, that's all right.
I think we can be done now.
We can be done.
We're not going
now.
to, other than our next mini-sode, we're not going to talk about this movie
Yeah,
like
do you think-
ever again.
Do you think we'll ever watch it again?
When we do,
A third marathon?
yeah, when we do DCOM Duo Part 2.
Part 2? We're gonna do it again. Ugh. We'll be like 30.
No, 40s.
We'll be in our 40s? Oh man.
There'll be a lot of new DCOMs to add.
Yeah.
Or none, depending on how the society goes.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was right on track. So if you have thoughts and you want to share them with us, email us at decom2@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Let's figure out what we're watching next.
Yeah, we're gonna spin the wheel for our next decom. What do you think it's gonna be?
Upside Down Magic.
Ooh, I think it's gonna be Johnny Tsunami. Let's spin the wheel. Oh my goodness gracious!
What?
It rolled Zombies 2, which
Means it's zombies
it means
time.
it's Zombies 1.
Okay, one of the big franchises we have not touched yet.
It's about goddamn time.
It's been too long.
It's too long, and we haven't even started watching zombies at all.
Yeah.
3 of them. There's about to be a 4th one.
Let's go.
Let's
I feel
watch
like we have
it.
thoughts on the zombies franchise.
I love zombies. Oh my gosh, I have so many things to say about my history with zombies.
In terms of stuff to say, the amount of stuff it's gonna shift a lot from this movie to zombies. So
Yeah.
tune in 2 weeks for zombies.
Zombies. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Scenes from our next episode. My cuz Bucky's the man.
Look at how perfect he lands.
lands.
That's what I was gonna start with. Too. This is gonna be my year. Hey guys, I'm talking directly at the camera. You're gonna forget about when you're not watching the movie because it's really kind of weird, but they do it in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
Oh man, Seabrook, we're so perfect, except for the fact that we're exclusively racist.
We're
but
super
not
racist.
not against black people.
No, just the ones with green hair.
Yeah.
And are dead, question mark?
Someday.
Someday. Now let's slow it
Oh
down.
no, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Someday. This could be.
Bam.
soon.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Bam. I'm on a bouncy floor. You're on a bouncy floor.
Yeah.
You're on a bouncy floor.
Yeah.
Do it like
Man. That floor is very bouncy.
bounce. The floor is
Hey.
bouncy.
We don't have a closing song. Let's just do all of the songs we did already.
Oh my god, this is so fun. I'm gonna stand.
Stand. Whoa, get off the stage,
We were
zombie.
made for this. There's
Nothing we can do.
This song's actually kind of great.